Hi. So I'm going to do a short video on the confusion about the Meghan Markle case where her sister Samantha is suing Meghan for defamation. And everyone is wondering, well, why wasn't the case thrown out? The case is ridiculous. Why wasn't it thrown out? Well, again, I don't have access to all the papers at one time and so forth, but what I can see happen is that you have an opportunity when the complaint is served to look at the complaint and say whether or not it is possible for this complaint to survive. Is there a way that this plaintiff can prevail in this case? So, appropriately, Meghan said no. This complaint can't prevail. It's, stupid. She's complaining about a lot of things. She doesn't have standing. She's, crazy. So Samantha did do a amended complaint, and she threw out a lot of stuff, but she came back still with a lot of ridiculous stuff. So then there was another opportunity to have the second amended complaint thrown out. And what you're supposed to do is you look at the complaint and you protest the complaint. Just look at the complaint and say this can't go through because of, and then you list the reasons. She doesn't have standing to talk about the king and the queen and their racism, and she doesn't have standing to talk about her daughter. She doesn't have standing to try to, help her father. Those are all not part of her defamation complaint. You also have to look at, phishing. Does she know what she's trying to get? Or is she just looking for stuff? That's when she's asking for, all of the saying miscellaneous stuff that does not affect her being damaged by the words of Meghan on the television show. That would be part of the libel. And you say, no, she wasn't damaged at all. And that's the big part. They have to show damage. Even if everything else in the complaint looks good, if they have not been damaged, then they have no reason to prevail on the complaint. But you look at the complaint, you pick it apart, and then you protest the complaint, what they wrote in the complaint, send it to the judge, and then the judge will decide whether or not they can prevail. Now, Meghan did an anti-slap, which was great. Again, that should be only on the complaint. You tell the judge why the complaint itself is deficient, why there's no reasonable likelihood that Samantha will prevail based on the complaint, on the claims she made on the complaint. You can attack the legal sufficiency of the complaint or the legal deficiencies of the complaint, and then present evidence. You can present evidence as to why they can't prevail. And then that would be something the judge would look over. If they agree, they throw it out. Okay. No way in the world this complaint can survive to go through to a successful defamation case. In the response sent by Meghan, they started arguing the facts of the case. She said this, I said this, I could have been, I had the right to say this, blah, blah, blah. And once you start arguing the rights of the case, then the case must move forward so that both sides can present facts. Now we're in the facts part of the case. So you don't want to get there. You want to stay in the complaint part of the case. You want to just argue what the plaintiff wrote as the complaint. You don't want to get into the facts as to what you would say in court or what really happened or anything else. You can argue privilege. Meghan, as a royal figure, was getting a lot of pressure, and she had a duty to respond to all of the pressure she was under. She did nothing with malice. Because as a public figure, Samantha would have to prove that the things Meghan did, she did with malice. It wasn't just ordinary speech. And Meghan can just state, she did this with ordinary speech and so forth, and it was not with malice. Because that is a requirement for a public figure to win. So the problem was when Meghan argued a lot of facts in the case, that went to the second part of the case. That went to the part where Samantha has an opportunity to argue facts. And that will lead to the depositions, the answering of interrogatories, and all the other stuff. So that is what caused this case to sidetrack. It should not have gotten into the facts. It should have stayed as to reasons why this case cannot go forward based on the complaint. The government wants people like Meghan to answer questions from the public. They have a duty. They have a social duty, a legal duty, moral duty to do these kinds of things. And so that's what Meghan was doing. And so the anti-SLAPP is a great way, presented as a complaint, and then the judge can assess just the complaint and decide if the case can go through. So that's why this case got sidetracked. That's why they're going on to depositions, interrogatories, and all that other stuff. And it got into the point where they can't dismiss the case till they get to the summary judgment phase. That's halfway through the case. So, like and subscribe. Bye.